So this will probably be the last video I do on this incident with the Georgia State Representative Erica Thomas. It won't be too long either, but I do have to say before I start, sometimes I don't know about you guys. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys, my subscribers. You see, I put out 2 videos on this subject. The first one is like 15 minutes long. It describes the entire scenario that happened and what went down. And for some reason, the second video, which is a short 4-minute video, that really only highlights the confrontation of the guys Sparks and Thomas outside of the Publix way after the incident happened. It really should have been part of the first video, but I never had that video when I was making the first one. But the point is, like 300 more views on the update video, which really doesn't tell you any of my opinions, anything of what I think about the incident and why I think it's a hoax. Yeah, so I just found that kinda odd. Like, why on earth would you watch the update video? It's like watching deleted scenes from a DVD when you haven't seen the original movie. Very bizarre. So another video came out, and this was the actual surveillance video from the Publix, and also some police cam footage interviewing some of the people that worked at the Publix after the incident had occurred. And the results of all this is pretty much that this is a dead case. There is no case here. There's nothing to be made of this. This is a non-story, a non-controversy. This is something that should have never been in the public eye in the first place. But this is basically the new form of politics we got going. I'm gonna call it viral outrage politics. Some incident occurs or doesn't, and the politician makes a big stink about it. It goes viral because of Twitter and YouTube and all the social media sites. Everyone just takes the bait and jumps on the story, and it becomes a viral sensation overnight. This is our political game at this point, trying to spin narratives through viral incidents. This is what we see the politicians like Rashida Tlaib and AOC and Trump, for that matter, doing. Trump's been doing it since before he was in office. Less so with hate crime hoaxes than just using his Twitter to start controversy. But this seems to be the new political way we got going. Anyway, I'm gonna cut to this video real quick from the news station again, the same news station, WSB-TV. And after that, I just want to run through the surveillance video real quick and point out a few things I noticed which seem to imply that she was full of shit from the beginning.
The grocery store confrontation making all those headlines. Now we have this store surveillance video that shows a Georgia lawmaker and another man arguing. And all new tonight, you're going to hear witnesses talking to police. Channel 2's Audrey Washington live at the store where this happened in Cobb County. So Audrey, those witnesses are telling a different story than the lawmaker.
They are. I watched that video police sent to us, and in it, the Publix store employee right here behind me says she never heard the man tell that state representative for her to go back to where she came from.
You can take it from there. The email, I guess the email WSB-TV.
Channel 2 Action News filed an open records request with Cobb County Police, and we received this new body camera video on Wednesday. It's dated on July 20th and shows an officer first questioning Publix shopper Eric Sparks and then a store employee whose face we blurred for TV.
When I got closer, I heard him call her ignorant. And then she said, if you're not happy, you can leave the store.
The interview happened following an argument between State Representative Erica Thomas and Sparks inside the Mableton Publix grocery store. This is new surveillance video of the incident. Watch closely. You can see the moment Eric Sparks walks up to Thomas. He told us he was upset that she was in the express checkout line because she had too many items. Sparks admits he called the state representative out of her name.
She said a few words. I go, what, you guys are lazy?
Thomas claims he told her to go back to where she came from. And during a second confrontation between Thomas and Sparks this weekend, she further discussed that claim.
He was making those types of references is what I remember.
But in this police body cam video, a store employee told police that she did not hear the beginning of the exchange, but said it was Thomas who told Sparks to go back to where he came from.
And that's what he said to her?
No, she said that to him. You can go back to where you came from, to him.
And we called both sides today and told them that we had the videos. Cobb County Police looked at the videos as well as the interviews here and decided not to press charges against anyone. And we're live tonight here in Cobb County. Audrey Washington, Channel 2 Action News.
So as you can see at the end of the video, she said the cops have decided to press charges against nobody, and that's most likely because this is just a he said, she said, and there was no real crime either way. But let's go to the surveillance video once again, and I want to go through it and point out the things that make me question her entire story. So as you can see, he walks over to her, he points out the line, she starts talking back, they start arguing, he backs up a little. Now she comes forward. Now if she was so intimidated, why would she come forward? Now she doesn't look scared at all like she was crying about in her video. So they're arguing, he points again, she steps up a little further to him, he walks away. This is about 25 seconds into the video. She's still talking as he walks away. Now I'm going to pause it right here, and I want you to tell me if you notice anything. How many people of color do you notice in this video shot right now? There are 3 people in the immediate vicinity of Sparks, the white guy. And then there's another brownish woman in the background on the left side. And then in the very background, there's 2 more black people there. So there's 6 people of color surrounding this argument right now. Do you think for a split second that if this white guy had said to that woman, go back where you came from, meaning like go back to Africa or something like that, get out of the country, they wouldn't have stuck up for her in an instant? If they even sniffed what they thought was racism, do you think they would? Just like the girl is standing there, the one who's purchasing something, she's just standing by the bagging counter, she's not an employee, she's just like looking down, she's not paying attention to this, she doesn't want to get involved. The cashier is not really saying anything, he's like looking at them, maybe trying to stop it, but he doesn't look like he's getting involved in what's going on. And I think if this were the case, if he had said those things, they all would have backed her up in an instant. I've seen it plenty of times on my own. I've seen this happen before. There's no way in hell they would have stood for it. Now let's go back to what's going on. So he walks away for a second, then he comes back and he's pointing, and she steps forward again and is pointing some more. Now this woman in the purple gets involved. Thomas steps forward more and is still pointing and yelling at the guy. Now that woman who got involved, I believe, is the woman at the end of that video that had her face blurred and was saying how Thomas is the one that said go back to where you came from, not Sparks. Because I'm pretty sure I see the unblurred version of that video. I can't seem to find it anywhere at the moment, but I know I had seen it on Twitter somewhere, and I remember her face looking like that. So that's about the point in time where Thomas must have been saying to him, to corroborate the woman's story, that go back to where you came from. She even might have heard it a little earlier, since she was yelling probably while she was walking over. She probably heard it then. But like she said, she wasn't there for the beginning of the incident. But as you can see, you can tell Thomas is not scared in any way, shape, or form, and in fact she's the one moving forward the whole time, continuing the argument, while he backs off eventually. So I'm gonna say again, this is probably the end of it anyway, but there is no case here, and it probably was a hoax just to gain political points, because like I said, this is the new type of politics, viral outrage. I'm not gonna say it was definitely a hoax because there is no evidence either way. There is some evidence showing that it probably wasn't him that said it, but there's no real way to prove she didn't say it unless they come out with video or more witnesses saying something. But that's probably not going to happen because the cops aren't pressing charges, so this is probably the end of it all. But I'm not going to say like I see a bunch of right-wingers out there saying, oh, see, this was a hoax, a complete race hoax. And you can't really say that because we don't have the actual evidence for that yet. But you can give the opinion saying you think it is, and that's fine. I was really annoyed how much the right wing picked up on this story in the first place, because then it just brings the people who are crazy on the right. Not all, guys, not all. Don't get offended, anyone in the right wing listening now. I understand some of you are reasonable, but it brings those types of fuckers to my channel, and I don't want to deal with that shit. So I was a little annoyed they picked up on it so much, but in the end, Nostrabongus is most likely correct again. And I guess that's that. Anyway, guys, have a good night.